When we hear the name Quezon, what comes to mind? Why are there so many places named after him? There's Quezon City, the largest city in Metro Manila. Quezon Province in the south. There's even a film festival named after him. Today, we find out about the man behind the name, on how his efforts paved way for the modern Filipino society we now know today. 1878, August 19, Manuel Quezon was born in the quiet town of Baler to Lucio Quezon, who was a teacher from Paco and of Tagalog descent, and Spanish mestiza Maria Dolores Molina. 1887, Quezon's formative years. At the age of 9, he went to Manila as a mess boy to study at the Colegio de San Juan de Letran. 1894, graduated summa cum laude at the University of Santo Tomas for his Bachelor of Arts. He took law studies there, but it was cut short due to Filipino-American War. 1899, the Filipino-American War. Quezon's law school studies were cut short due to the outbreak of war with the Americans. He served as an aide-de-camp or personal secretary to Emilio Aguinaldo. He rose to rank of first lieutenant, captain, to major and fought in Bataan. 1900s. The First Republic of the Philippines surrendered after the capture of President Emilio Aguinaldo. Quezon was tasked to confirm whether it's true or not. He surrendered himself to confirm Aguinaldo's capture. He was released after 6 months. He continued studying law and worked as a clerk at the Mont Piedad. In 1903, he finished 4th in the 1903 bar examinations. 1907, a career in Congress. Manuel Quezon ran for public office as governor of the province of Tayabas. He was also elected as representative on what was then the first Philippine National Assembly, which we know as the House of Representatives. He served his time as the majority floor leader. He eventually was elected to be the resident commissioner to represent the Philippines in the American Congress. Through this position, he helped to enact the Philippine Autonomy Law, also known as the Jones Law, which contains the first formal and official declaration of the United States' commitment to grant the country's independence. He is also known to be the first Senate President of the country. 1918, he married his cousin Aurora Quezon, which was quite common at the time. Their solemn wedding ceremony was held in Hong Kong. He then continued his independence mission to prove to the colonizers of the capacity of the Filipinos to govern themselves. In 1919, he spearheaded the first independent mission to the U.S. Congress and secured the passage of the Tidings-McDuffie Act. This established the Commonwealth government, which gave birth to an independent Philippines set on July 4, 1946. 1934, the rescue in the Philippines. Manuel Quezon opened doors to the Hebrew seeking refuge from Nazi rule. He implored all Filipinos to welcome Jewish refugees with open arms. It is believed that without U.S. interference, the country would have accepted 10,000 refugees instead of 1,000 per year in a 10-year period as directed by the U.S. government. The country opened its door to over 1,300 Jewish refugees. 1935, the Commonwealth. Manuel Quezon became the first president of the Commonwealth after beating his former co-revolutionary Emilio Aguinaldo and Catholic priest Gregorio Maglipayan in the elections. He founded his administration on 3 core values: national defense, economic growth, efficient government. He implemented many reforms that benefited the economy, and he is also the one that institutionalized Filipino as our official language. He also instituted the building of the Manila Railroad Company, which is now the Philippine National Railway. This helped make travel from Manila to Bicol more convenient. 1941, Quezon re-elected and the invasion of the Japanese Empire, World War II. The Philippines was growing rapidly and peacefully. It got a grounding halt after Japan invaded the country on December 8, 1941. He continued to fight for independence, this time against the Japanese Empire. He fled to the island of Corregidor to avoid capture. When Corregidor fell to the Japanese, it was the symbolic defeat of the Philippines against the oppressor. This prompted Quezon to move to the United States. There he established the Commonwealth government in exile. Even in exile, Quezon did not stop. Through him, the Philippines served the Pacific War Council and joined the United Nations. And it's because of this that the Philippines is recognized as an allied nation. August 1, 1944. President Manuel died of complications of tuberculosis. He never got to see the free Philippines we experience today. He died in Saranac Lake, New York. The United States government accorded Quezon with special honors. He was buried temporarily at the Arlington Cemetery. July 4, 1946, the birth of the Second Republic. Through the efforts of Manuel the Philippines finally achieved its independence. Freedom was symbolized through the lowering of the American flag and raising of the Philippine flag. July 27, 1946, Homecoming. Manuel Quezon's remains returned from the U.S. August 1, 1946, he was buried at the Manila North Cemetery. On the same day, 33 years later, he was transferred to the Quezon Memorial Shrine. This would be the last of Quezon's resting places. Now, Quezon is resting underneath the 217-foot monument of the Quezon Shrine, sitting at the heart of Quezon City. The monument symbolizes the legacy of his tireless efforts in fighting for Philippine independence.